As soon as the ring was on the finger, it was like he was a different person. I know now, in retrospect, that that was IA, but he started withholding right away and then found out that he had looked at porn a few times in the 4 months we'd been married, and had driven up to Canada when I went away on a trip. So first emotional affair, 4 months into our marriage.
I think that I knew that there was tension in our relationship, but I was so intimacy anorexic and so addicted that I just blamed everything on you. We would have these round and round things where we would end up in counseling for a period of time. And as an addict, I was incredibly immature. I was constantly compartmentalizing, living a almost schizophrenic life of, like a double life. I mean, one life trying to manage one life at home and one life when not at home. And that was crazy. But then in addition, the intimacy anorexia piece just created constant tension.
After the last sort of D-Day, Discovery Day, which was in May of 2018, I was done. It was almost 19 years of this stuff, and I just was like, here we are again. I was right all those years, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I kicked him out. I was in total despair. I now know that I was in an extremely heightened state of trauma. I was having a panic attack because I had started Googling sex addiction recovery statistics, and what I was finding was not good. And then I came upon Heart to Heart's website, and I came upon the partner recovery stuff, and then the intimacy anorexia stuff, and it was the first time in almost 19 years someone was understanding my story, what I had been through, and that it wasn't my fault, and that my pain was valid, and that there was hope for me to heal.
In the time leading up to it, following the discovery of my affair, and then the disclosure of everything that preceded it, which was a lot, I was undone. I was devastated. I slept in my car the first night. I contemplated suicide. The whole night, I kept saying to God, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. I don't know what is wrong.
When I found the hopeful statistics, I said, wow, okay, first of all, there's hope for me, but there actually is hope for our marriage. I'm willing to consider giving it a last try.
I was a little bit deer in the headlights, I think, at first. It was a lot. There's a reason they call it an intensive, because it's intense. So a little bit like drinking from the fire hose, but in a good way. I was getting a lot of new information, but also at the same time, a lot of encouragement and a lot of feedback to say, you're not alone, you can do this, others have gone before you, we're gonna walk with you. The polygraph experience, it was so supportive. The polygrapher was supportive, our therapist was supportive. They were helping me to tell the truth. And then what that gave you was just that sense of, okay, it's everything is out. There's nothing in the closet. There's nothing hidden. And so that we could then begin the process of walking forward on a healing journey.
I was really actually looking forward to someone, a man, telling my husband what he needed to hear. As Dr. Doug says, men make men. So I was looking forward to that aspect of it. I think a lot of partners feel like they're just sort of like a hamster on a wheel running, and they keep saying these things and making these requests. That's a huge blessing of the intensive, is the therapist is there for both of you, but that therapist is actually validating what you've been through to your husband and calling him higher.
A pivotal moment, honestly, during the intensive was when we learned how to do the dailies. So we were assigned the dailies, I think on day one, and we went back to our Airbnb and we practiced the dailies together. I'm gonna get emotional here, but that was like profound, because it was actual intimacy that we were experiencing, which for me was revolutionary. I didn't know what intimacy was. To actually look into Heather's eyes, and we began to talk about stuff that was just, it just peeled back this huge layer. The personal aspect of it was that we were sexually intimate day 2 or 3.
It was those dailies.
It was the dailies. They did it, right? I thought physically that I was broken sexually. I was experiencing total sexual dysfunction. I thought that would never, happen again, really, or at least be whole. To have the sexual intimacy reborn was pretty profound.
For me, doing that first dailies time was finally, because that's what I had been asking him for, wanting to have in our relationship for our entire marriage, and so for him to move toward me was a huge deal. For me, it was incredibly hard, to be married and know that my husband didn't want me. That's, that was the message. Reconnecting sexually in a holistic way and having him move toward me emotionally, spiritually, and sexually was huge. When we got back from the intensive, obviously the intimacy anorexia did not just disappear. All of the stuff that happened for us during the week while we were at the intensive, that whole week, all those things that we were doing together with our counselor, that we went over together, it was there for both of us to go back to and be able to recall and talk about. It was just immensely helpful for the long term.
Heather has always been, she's a very healthy person. I think she just gained a lot of language to know what to see, what to look for, especially with intimacy anorexia. She would go, oh, yep, I see that. Maybe you need to go make a phone call. And then I would go, what did I do? I do? And that was the lifeline, honestly. I had so many conversations with guys in my intimacy anorexia recovery group that just every time I would go and I'd say, this just happened. Can you help me make sense of it? And we would talk it through, and then I would have to come back to Heather and say, I'm so sorry, I blew it. Recovery-wise, it's amazing. I've taken a very long time to work the steps, so I'm actually kind of my step 9, step 10, working with a mentor on that, which is great. And I feel like we are just so connected. This is my best friend. I love her. I love being with her. I hate leaving her when I have to go to work. It's a completely different story.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's hard to it's 2 different marriages. I mean, truly. My marriage is a place of rest, fun, playfulness. It's also a place of peace now. And getting emotional. It's truly a different life now.
We'll just be, I don't know, we're just doing life together. And Heather will say to me, that is so different from the way you used to respond in this situation or whatever. I'm always a little taken aback by that because it doesn't feel like it should be different. I didn't realize it was different. Oh, I didn't know that was different. And it's a little startling. That speaks a lot to me about how much, this whole process has changed our lives and my life.
Even though we're in the 5th year of recovery, of course there are still hard things, but now the hard things we go to repair. It doesn't go down the horrible drainage hole of, trauma and lack of trust. We build trust. Now the hard things build trust rather than erode trust. Now he wants to be with me all the time. So it's just, I guess for me, it's all the little moments of moving toward me instead of being moved away from and being avoided and being not wanted.
I feel a little bit inspired and encouraged because the opportunity just to sit here and to be able to share together about, our journey and the hope and the freedom, that we have found, and to be able to hopefully point other people to that, to say that there is hope. You're not alone. You're not the only ones who have been here. We've been there, and our journey was rough. It was bad. I was horrible. There's hope, and you're worth it. You can make it. You can get there. For both our future together to see where we can go, because this is just the beginning. I think we're still learning more, and that's really exciting. But then also for other people to spread that word of hope is huge. Book an intensive. It will save your life and your marriage. You can do it. You can do it. You can learn to love your wife, and you can start a whole new life together. It's possible.